I don't think that there's been an opera yet that has been written purely about people's migrations to a country. I mean, this opera is specifically the UK. And I think it's important because at the end of the day, we are all mixed. We are all part of one planet. And now in 2022, we look at people's bloodlines and you can see that whether you were a Viking or a Saxon or East African Asian coming here. And I think this is a special opera for WNO.
It has been the first opera that I've done since pandemic. So that's quite a few years. And I've done concerts, but that usually involves like maybe 6 people. So this has been absolutely massive. Having this many people in a space has been overwhelming in a way, but also really exciting. And I cried a lot in the beginning. This piece is something that gets inside you, and I think it's about the shared experiences that we have, even though we come from different experiences of migration, and being with other people who have a similar story of being othered.
It feels important for me playing this character because it can feel a little bit hopeless sometimes to take on the sort of generational trauma and to be fighting for a cause as basic human rights.
I'm learning myself about this history of everything that's going on, especially within the role of Pero that I play more of, and I'm more on stage as Pero, and learning just the history of everybody's coming together and how they migrated, and all of their troubles and trials that they had to go through. And I think the audience will, have a history lesson, and that's how I call it myself, as history.
It's been a really big research project. It's almost been like designing 6 pieces at the same time. So it's been really important to kind of research each piece really individually and establish a really kind of unique aesthetic for each piece. But it's also been really exciting finding similarities that have kind of cropped up in colour and kind of style of clothing through the eras and also across cultures, kind of like a thread that ties everyone together. For this piece also, it's been really important for it to be more of a collaboration with the writers and also the cast members. I think my favourite would be Marion Newman's character called Dawn. And that's because we were able to source a jacket that has the original Vive Lake Cree Nation label in it. For that reason, it feels like the most authentic costume on stage.
I met Will Todd via email ahead of him even writing the role. And I had a chance to say, can you please not write something that you think sounds Indigenous? Because we just keep ending up with this sort of flattened out sound of Indigenous, usually drumbeat, very Disney, and I'm sick of it. So I felt really respected in the way that Will wrote this role.
I would say the good thing about playing Pero, or how Pero's written in this opera, is as a real person, not just a slave. You get to see him, as a 3D, a person. All of his emotions, his realities, everything he goes through on a daily basis.
There is a folk song in the piece that I was given some room to do what I want with. And I've never had that experience in an opera before where someone said, yeah, do what you want to make it feel more Cree, more cultural in a way. And I drew inspiration from some really amazing singers. Winston Watney and Buffy St. Marie are these Cree singers who I've listened to the style of how they combine a folk sound with words and music that is about protest and about sharing messages.
This is a gigantic opera. The WNO chorus are fabulous. They sound magnificent.
A wall of incredible sound.
Yes.
And the difference in colours and emotions, and you watch them and every single one of them is just totally in it.
And when you mix it with the soloists, the gospel choir, and the little children, let's not forget the children.
To also see the work of all these librettists, I don't know how many there are, 5 of them, 6? and see all of their work put together and how it's woven together into a piece. And there's about, I believe, over 100 of us on stage at one point towards the end. So there's a bit grandeur there.
It just shows how mixed and diverse we really are. And that's something to be celebrated.